Hello everybody and welcome to the largest project that I have ever embarked on my channel. Welcome to my fair slash theme park. It's kind of a mix between the two, but I think of it as a fair. The first thing that we encounter when we enter the fair is this small circus tent. It's kind of the starting point. There's a show going on in here, a popcorn stand, and for some reason, a donkey. As we leave the circus tent, we encounter another popcorn stand just in case one wasn't enough, and we reach our first ride, which is this swinging pirate ship. One of my personal favorites. I really like these. If you guys haven't had the pleasure of going on one of these rides at a theme park or a fair, you're missing out. You should really try and get on one. They're really fun. So the next thing is kind of like an outdoor trampoline that multiple people can go on. I'm sure that you guys might have seen these around. It's kind of just like a fun little extra thing to add to a fair. Now, not only that, but we do also have this mini go-kart track as well. And it actually works. It's, you know, it's not exactly like you're driving a go-kart, but at least you get the experience of the track in the minecart. And by the way, I don't know how to gracefully exit the minecart other than to just ditch out of it and let it go on its own journey. You'll notice that that's a common theme as we progress through the fair. We have just a nice generic food truck and cool seating area outside, and in front of that we have... In front of the food truck, we have some bumper cars. Now, unfortunately, we can't actually ride these, or drive them, I should say. You can ride them, but you can't drive them, but they're still fun all the same. So we also have some games dotted around the fair. This is one of the basketball games that, if you make a certain amount of hoops, you win prizes. As we move further down along, we do require some imagination with some of these. This is a ring toss game, or bottle toss. However, you know, the thing where you throw the rings onto the bottles, and if you manage to do it, you get a prize. We also have a Ferris wheel, and once again, a lot of this stuff doesn't work, but it's really cool decoration nonetheless. We have a really cool Ferris wheel, which we can pretend to enjoy despite the fact it doesn't move, but it's still, again, you're going to hear that a lot. It's still fun regardless of the fact that it doesn't actually rotate. Now this is my personal favorite ride on the entire fair. This is the ghost train. The ghost train is really cool. I think that I really nailed the aesthetic of this. Like, we've got a really spooky, sort of dilapidated mansion. It's all haunted. We have ghosts and a graveyard in front. We have some slime. And we actually have a working ghost train with some jump scares and some, like, ambient lights and some fire. And we have, like, bats getting shot out of the place and arrows being fired at us. It's quite a short ride, but it is pretty fun nonetheless. It's 100% the best thing on this fair, in my opinion. Really, really fun. It's, I'm a little embarrassed to admit that I've spent more time riding the ghost train than maybe building it, but as we move around, we have two opposite ends of the spectrum. We have the really, really cool ghost train with the fear of death, and we have the teacup ride. Kind of opposite ends of the spectrum, and once again, this, you know, it's 100% just aesthetic, but fun nonetheless. Now, speaking of fun, we have the Funhouse. So the Funhouse is something that you can actually enjoy. It's kind of like a parkour obstacle course, but not difficult whatsoever. So on the bottom level, we just have all of these like hanging things to avoid. On the second level, we have kind of just this fun little track to work our way through. You can just walk through this, of course, but still, it's, you know, just kind of like a fun thing to have. We have a little water obstacle here, and as we climb up to the final level, we have kind of like this Wipeout inspired wall as we try and parkour our way through. Got a little bit frustrated there, but there is a slight way to cheat, which you're going to see in a second. So if for some reason you can't find the pistons, which I could not, then you can kind of just walk onto here and progress onto the final part of the fun house, which is kind of like this circular slide, which has to be a water slide because, of course, you know, we don't just like naturally fall down slides in Minecraft, but really, really fun. That is my second favourite thing about the fair. We have the Ghost Train and the Funhouse in ranks 1 and 2 at the moment. Beyond that, we have a merry-go-round or a carousel. Is merry-go-round? I don't think that... Isn't that a roundabout? I don't know. The part is a carousel anyway. I think that I'm confusing two different things. But this is a carousel. And this does actually work, although for some reason, I think the way that I laid the track out, I kept falling off of the track. Like, the minecart kept just, like, wobbling me out. So, after a certain point, I was just like, okay, I'm just going to run around the carousel instead of actually riding the minecart. But... So, after the carousel, we have something that I'm not sure is in every other country. The only reason I say that is because it's an insanely British sounding word. This is a helter skelter, which basically is just this giant circular slide on a tower, and it's one of those things where you like slide yourself into this weird carpet thing and then you just kind of like go down a big plastic slide. I don't know, maybe you have them, maybe you don't. Helter Skelter is the most British sounding word that I have ever heard, or collection of words. We have a roller coaster as well. It's just a really, really simple roller coaster. It's basically one big climb and one big drop. I didn't want to make anything too complicated, just in case I do make a theme park later on down the line. So, just a really simple roller coaster. And this is meant to be a fair, so nothing too crazy. We have a dunk tank. You guys know what this is. Somebody sits on there, you throw something at the target. If you're successful, they get dunked into the water. We have a giant inflatable water slide. Unfortunately, it has to be a water slide. It can't just function as a slide, but one of those big giant inflatable slides. And yeah, really, really fun. We also have a burger van as well. Plenty of food options in the fair. Kind of, not really. We have one of those swinging chair rides. If you guys have ever been on one of these, they are incredibly frightening, or at least they are for me. We also have, other than kind of like doing the rotation around the fair, we have a bunch of stuff in the middle, so a bunch of stands. We have a cotton candy stand or a candy floss stand. We have one of those like strength testers where you like hit the thing and the puck goes up and like hits a bell. We have a hot dog stand. We have a balloon cart. We also have a kind of like a hooker duck sort of thing. So we don't have ducks in Minecraft, which is a travesty, but we do have fish. So a fishing rod. Try and catch a fish. If you do, you win a prize, which can be a fish, as you can see on the left there, or perhaps like, you know, a plush toy or a head or something like that, just like a fun prize. I wasn't successful. So we also have like a balloon popping game. So like typically you'd like use a pellet gun or darts, and like if you pop all of the balloons, then you win a prize. So whether that's a teddy or, you know, whatever it might be. But as you're about to see, I beat the game and I get a pretty cool prize. I get to wear a dragon head. That's right, that is the prize for this particular stand. We also have a bottle game, so like knock over the bottles with a ball. These things are always fixed, guys. I don't know why, but the snowballs aren't cutting it, so I got a little bit frustrated, and that's kind of like the end. That is the that's me walking away with my goldfish in a bag, wearing my dragon head at the end of a lovely day at the fair. So, a question that some of you might have right now is there even going to be a tutorial for this thing? Isn't this going to be way too big? Wouldn't the video be like 10 hours to make? I'm not going to do that. And the answer to all of those questions is yes. Except, here's the thing. We are going to make each individual part of this fair individually. Every single part of the fair is going to get its very own video, and I'm simply just going to make a playlist for it, and we are going to have almost an entire month of just building the fair. I'm so sorry if you don't want that, but I don't really see another way to do it. I can't just make this like a 20-hour video. That would be insane. So, check the description below, check the card system, check the comment section. I will be leaving a link to the fair. Part 1 will be out right now, and we will literally just be making this part by part, thing by thing, and eventually ending up with a nice, big, massive finished fair.